Here in this semi-final Age of Empires 4 match, we have klop1324 on the right, playing in teal as the Abbasid dynasty, and Swilly in blue on the left, playing in as the English Civ. And this mega random map you don't often see. It's one of the mega random gens that you can get with the river down the middle. Some kind of chaotic situation there, but got on a Game Pass for another few weeks. Yeah, hey, definitely worth the purchase. But don't commit too hard to the profile picture and other unlock grind if you're gonna buy it on a different platform, because it does not translate. For some reason, the profiles are stored locally or whatever. David, in the chat to help co-cast this. Let me get the stream going on Discord for you.
Sure, thank you.
So we have Swilly and Klop here. I don't think there were any Civ bans for this match. I didn't make any overlays today because I had to work till 5, but we're here.
Yeah, so this is mega random, right? Just based on the map. Sorry, I missed the selection.
Right.
Yeah,
Guessed correctly.
makes sense. I think just from the spawns, looks like both players have a reasonable spawn, I'd say.
Yeah, this middle river, I mean, what, we got 4 choke points minimum between the players, so fairly defensible if they choose to go that way. Klop with the House of Wisdom. This is the first time that we've seen Klop, I think. Yeah, because the last time he played, I didn't record it, and they made an update to the game. So first time we've seen Klop in game with his incredible camel here in this tournament. We're gonna have to have a look at him and see how he's doing.
Yep, definitely likes his episode, but to be honest, he's kind of a jack of all trades. He tends to like playing kind of everything.
It's pretty varied, very anti-Mongol, but to each their own.
True.
Excited to see a pro play Abbasid. Oh, Aloysian. Here we go. I think we might have a burgeoning Abbasid main in the chat right now.
To be honest, I'm not super familiar with Abbasid myself, but
it's one of the 3 to 4 civs I like to focus on a little bit right now. He's doing everything we'd expect. Everything. Okay, we're gonna need a house here next. I hope to get that within the range of influence at Wood Camp there.
Yep, I started playing some Nomad random free-for-alls and noticed that Abbasid's not their age bonus, they're like, what's it called? I can't remember. The golden age bonus is actually pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean, it gets all the way up to 20% gathering rate, all those speed boosts. The production speed in particular on that tier 3 is kind of insane. Going up with that economic wing. We're going to expect the meta choice: economic wing, culture wing, military wing. Probably just ignoring trade for this game. Took plenty of time to get that mill down. This is what you typically see these days. You start on the deer, while you're aging up, you finally build the mill. Abbasid have that berry bonus where once this mill goes up, these berries are going to end up at 350 out of 250, and they also gather faster. So one of the 2 civs along with Delhi where berries are a viable main food source. More viable than 350. On the other side,
Swilly, yeah, he's getting his council hall up. That's a great choice. It's pretty much the standard choice, I think, for English, because it lets you get those longbows out to start harassing or defending. I think English in general tends to be a little bit more defensive as a civ, so I'd love to see some walls, towers, maybe spears, longbows, just to hold any aggression.
Has shown pretty much, like, he's been fairly competent with like the build orders and choices that he's made for the civs that he's picked. I feel like, you know, he's pulled out French a couple times, English. Doesn't really generally make too many big mistakes.
For sure, I would like to see some more farms. I believe English tends to go early farms.
These berries are going to slow him down a little bit. The gather rate's not great on that.
Yep, but it's still not a horrible choice. Looks like he's also
And
getting his eco upgrades, which is good.
oh, true, yeah, we
Those
got
cheap
that core
eco
villager.
upgrades.
Cheap upgrades there. Villager production is just exactly the same for both players right now. Both keeping that TC working at all times. Love to see it.
Wonder what that tower is for from Klopp. I guess he expects maybe some longbow harassment here.
You might
Actually, he's going to
expect.
stone.
I mean,
So probably 2 TC.
I think he's probably just trying to extend the like validity of a 2TC no military play. Also going for some palisades in these choke points. Okay, interesting.
That makes sense. Klopp's favorite building in the game is the palisade.
Yeah, I think I can confirm that one. Question in the chat: as English, would you just leave the berries alone? Sometimes players do that. I mean, it is free food, right? So you might leave like 4 villagers on berries until they run out. But
Yeah, the farms are cheaper for English, so you can invest in them early, but you still can't go pure farm early because then you don't have enough wood to make spears or longbows, which you typically need to defend.
true. Swilly moving out with the 3 longbows to the north. I wonder if he... No, he scouted where his enemy is already, so he knows. Just gonna be looping around the top. And we're gonna see probably this entire map walled off by Klop if he's allowed to. Swilly sees those if he notices them. He can see a little sliver of a wall here.
Looks like there's 4 crossings, I think. So it's still a lot to wall. I'm not sure. I
It is a
personally
lot,
don't
yeah.
think it's necessarily worth walling all that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really need to, right? I don't know. Maybe in an AI game, it might be worth preventing them sprinkling units across. But here's that second TC from the Abbasid player.
It looks like you can't actually see what House of Wisdom researches he has, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, any building that has the second panel, they like just don't show you. I mean, I guess it gives me space to put chat on screen, but I wish we could see that in spectator mode.
Yeah, but we can. If you click on his villagers, are they reduced cost? I assume that they are. If you click on the town center and hover.
25,
Yep.
yeah, he definitely got that reduced villager cost. 50 for English, so he's gonna have plenty of extra food floating around, or potentially just a bit of a different distribution of gatherers. Looks like we're leaning heavy into the stone and wood right now for Klopp here.
He might be going 3 town centers. I think out of all the civilizations in Age of Empires 4, I think Abbasid is probably one of the best candidates for a triple town center, just because the villagers.
I think he knows too. Like he knows he's pretty safe in this matchup as long as he has vision on what Swilly's doing. I don't know that he's very scared.
Right, he's also walling. I think he sees wall on the top
walling.
too.
He's full walling this entire thing. This was actually a waste, but don't worry about it. So yeah, he's probably going at least 3 TCs. With this much on stone in the feudal age, that's what I'm expecting. Hella boom, exactly.
I think that's one thing surprised me about the Age 2 games is how many town centers there were. But in Age 4, two town centers is already a lot. Typically, you see most civs go or play between 1 or 2 town centers. So
yeah, in H4, I like how big of a decision it is to make another TC. Like you're throwing away a lot of other advantages for something that might pay off in the future. H2, I mean, it is somewhat like that, but much of a reduced extent, I guess there. I don't know.
Right, it's what 750 resources I think for a second town center. 400 wood, 350 stone.
350 stone, yeah. 750 resources. That's a hefty chunk of the way to the next age. Or, like, I don't know. Looking at this, 90. That's like, 8 or 9 longbows.
Yep. And of course, you don't have any military units then because you're investing entirely in town centers.
True, and you have to spend. You don't generally anticipate. I feel like I don't. How much villagers cost, but you have to like redirect a lot of the food production into making villagers. That's why Abbasid leans so heavily into the 3TC, because they don't have to spend so much on villagers if they get that economic upgrade. Okay, Klopp sees the longbows. Do the longbows see the wall? They do now, and they also see the tower outpost coming up. It's a good amount of longbows. But he's not trying to push, he's just standing up here on the north. Not sure what the thought process is here. Okay, going for kind of a proxy on the northern side of this this river, I guess.
Is he holding the relic, maybe? I noticed he's standing on a relic.
That might be. Neither of these civs really plays towards relics as a focus, but still a useful thing to have, I guess. klop placing a lot of buildings on the enemy side of the forest river here.
Well, you know, outposts after palisades are his second favorite structure in the game. You're gonna see these all over the map.
He wants to see everything that's happening, and let's see what the vision is like for these players. Swilly just leaving that scout on this crossing. Not a bad spot for it, but love to see that moving around a little bit more. klop still working on that vision, but definitely has view of almost the entire middle of the map, so he knows if anything's coming at him. Right now, those longbows are the only military. Are we gonna see 4 TCs out of this game?
Doesn't look like it.
That's the point where it starts getting a little ridiculous. We're getting
well, at
upgraded.
that point,
okay, arrow slits, not bad.
Yeah, if you see 4 TCs, you're starting to expect some kind of villager-only kind of play, but
That's
definitely
true.
not seeing 4 here.
Yeah. HRE is very relic focused, yes. Mongols are another civ that can utilize the relics and snag them really early. Also, Delhi, another one that focuses on relics as well. It's generally just the ones that can get them early or the ones that sort of try to get them as fast as possible. HRE is the most like that, though.
I think any civilizations that get monks before Castle Age, because if you can get your monks early, you can put them on top of the relics before you hit Castle, and then as soon as you hit Castle, you can pick up all the relics immediately without having to first build a monastery, then a monk, then pick up the relic.
Yeah. Very true. We'll see about this little relic down here. Oh, give me the relic sound. He's standing on top of it. Okay, King's Palace on the north of the map. Like proxy King's Palace, but he's not proxying anything. He's okay, and we have vision on these villagers for a brief second.
I think the King's Palace is a great choice just because it's a slower game, and in slower games you can afford to drop a extra town center, especially because it doesn't cost anything extra. It's part of your age up.
I mean, against Abbasid, I think King's Palace is almost a must-have, especially if you're not pressuring them at all.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's probably the better landmark if I had to take a guess, just because I think the keeps in general have fallen out of favor a little bit, just because they're static.
It's true. The White Tower is strong to hold a point, but it's very much a situational thing, I think, or defensive if you're getting attacked. I don't know. King's Palace, if you're able to make a choice, would be the one any day.
I see Alois in the chat is asking what's the best way to defend relics against HRE. So I think in general, when you're defending, the way you defend relics is you can do a couple things. You can either build a little wall of palisades around the relic.
So you see a lot of pro players just building a little wall, like, where's the relic? It's like a wall around this of palisade walls. It's kind of ridiculous, but it does the job.
Yeah, you can also put like a knight or two or a spear or a couple archers on top of each relic, and that way, because normally the civs that go for early relics just send the monk all by itself. They don't send the whole army with it. So you can typically just put a couple military units on top of the relic, and that's enough to knock out the monk.
I think I know why Aloysian's asking all these HRE based questions. Might be anticipating a little something coming up somewhere down the bracket there. But yeah, I don't know. Blacksmith, going for that bloomery, steeled arrow. Just to research, yeah, okay.
I'm sure he's just asking for a friend, you know.
And klop with these, he's got these villagers in the back pocket. I don't know if he's planning on using them for anything just yet, but they're there. They're not where you might expect. Swilly's leaning into those longbows. Just loves longbows right now. I guess that's the English move, so why not? They're a good
He's
unit.
also making sure to place a little more than one lumber camp. I like to see it.
Good stuff. Keep those lumber camps updated. His enemy would be pleased. And here's the natural counter to English, the horseman coming out from Klop. He has seen a few longbows here too.
We'll see if we see any
spears. I'm starting
spears.
to wonder if Swilly knows that this is a town center. Unsure about that one. Outpost. Starting to get a little close to the blue base here.
I wonder if Swilly knows about the English bonus too, how you need to have towers to get increased attack speed.
He's got
Because that's
one
a really
here.
key mechanic.
I mean, he's built a lot of towers. I don't know if those are just for defense. We'll see if he builds forward towers if he ever attacks. We got a villager here. Just kind of hanging out for the time being. So that might be the plan. Network of castles. That upgrades to network of citadels if you build a keep, I believe is the requirement for that.
We do see that age 3 coming up, that culture wing. as you were
Culture
pointing
wing.
out.
Standard play. Here's that 4th TC. Oh,
That's a little
it's
much, I
going
think.
I mean, I guess this one's just for map control. It's a little cheaper than a keep, I guess. I don't know. You decided not. Okay, just working out the priorities here. That's all. Stone.
I
over
have a
gold.
feeling there's gonna be more TCs than just this, based on the fact that you didn't pull the stone miners off the stone.
I mean, we'll have to see. We're at 103 vills to 50, and that's what's the resources per min right now? About 2K, roughly 3.5. Okay. Trebuchet out for Swilly. Casts the first boulder of the game. And he's got
First
more
combat.
on the way from the Siege Workshop. First combat. We lost, I think, one scout. These lonely sheep down here, but this is the first real action. Fortified outposts are just gonna go down a little bit slower here. Another Treb. And more longbows. Okay. The one unit comp is a little concerning at the moment, but no action means who knows what you're trying to counter anyways. So stone walls for Klop. He's just trying to take this to an extreme late game state, I think.
These are kind of odd stone walls. I wonder why he's putting them here, because normally you'd want to put them on the crossings. I guess he has towers on all the crossings, so makes it a bit harder to wall because they block, but...
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you might see like a loop around here. I guess he's trying to keep it out of vision range of these units too. Oh, that's the idle villager key. Alright, we got a horseman out for blue. I like to see the villager, or the military unit variation. A few more horsemen coming out. Sticking with 2 trebs for the time being. And he is producing villagers from the King's Palace. Okay, good to see. And breaking through here, that's got to feel good. We'll see if he can get all the way around in time.
I wonder if we're going to see any spears or knights, because I think we might want... in general, here we have longbows, which I would argue probably counter most things that horsemen do, because horsemen tend to be anti-long-range units, and longbows do the same thing, so the units kind of fulfill the same role.
That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah, longbow's basically good anti-range, good anti-like light armor, or spearmen, I guess. But versus each other, the horsemen, if they can get on top of the longbows, will definitely take them out. We'll see what Klop does here. He's bringing them around the side. Looks like a trebuchet attack. He's just trying to delay the game right now, because he loses a few inconsequential workers. We're at 129 to 57.
These horsemen are getting so much value.
Yeah. It's destroyed value right now. Once that goes down, all right, 600 advantage for Klop here.
And is that 3 town centers on the island?
Yeah, what's going on down here?
No.
Okay, well, it's not a worker-only game, 'cause as we see some horsemen here. But he is... Well, no, okay, we're only 145 pop right now. But at 131 vills, you kind of want to not build any more vills. Generally, in most games.
I have to wonder what the strategy is here. If it was villager only, I wouldn't have seen the horsemen. So this seems a
Maybe
bit
he's
excessive.
like nerfing himself. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna spend some resources on something random.
I mean, he's gonna have such a strong economy that I don't think it's gonna matter here. He's
Yeah.
scaling up so quickly. Even though Swilly is putting on some pressure, which is the important thing. If he was just sitting back, I'd be worried. But he was okay. Maybe he's sitting back a little more now.
Sitting back a little bit, waiting for these trebs to come out again. That
that's
strike
good.
with the horseman really put him on the back foot.
That's why you got to put spears next to your trebs, so that way whenever the cav comes in to knock it out, just kill it.
That's right. You need some front line. I think for this composition to work, the horseman can do that job if there are enough of them. I think that's what he's planning on using for that role. We'll see. A lot of horsemen out for Klop though. These guys could just beeline anything on the map and take it out. I think. Maybe not the landmarks just yet. What's the vision looking like now? Klop going for a TC back here with one villager now.
That's sneaky.
That's a little bit of a sneaky move. King's Palace still just locking down that side with that crossing. And Klop can basically see the entire map, or at least everything that matters. He sees this gold is exhausted. Sees the farms. I feel like he could move in and do a lot of damage, but he's giving Squeaky, he's giving Swilly a little bit of time to play the game. I don't know.
Looks like he might be pressuring this attack here with the horseman.
Like a policeman. No trebs for you.
Exactly. Look at that. You can actually see he targeted the Treb specifically.
There,
Both
he's
of them.
targeted and then queued back out immediately. Oh man. And the horseman not there to respond. Not quite.
Yeah, the way you beat this is you just put like 3 or 4 spears next to each Treb. Just kind of put them in the same control group, and then they'll sit on top of the Trebs. But
Swilly, he'll know about all these walls now, I think. Can't see it in the spectator view, but he knows that's the next frontier. Gonna go for the tower right now. See if Klop says has anything to say about that. Looks like he does. Something else useful in this situation is the line formation. You can just put a line of units here, and they won't be able to get past it most of the time.
he really wants to take out those Trebs.
We also have some big trade for teal here. 162. Where's that trade post? Okay, it's optimized.
And he's got Trade Wing coming in too for his Imperial Age.
Okay. One trade wing.
Right.
Probably will take all the wings then in the end. If the game goes that long. Alright, King's Palace just about holds all the villagers there. These Trebs, not well. They might survive this actually. Swilly with the knights now coming out. A couple of knights, enough melee units, and enough of a longbow ball to be able to clean that up. And an attack on the south.
Yeah.
I think he wants. Big. Okay, here I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking he wants the gold. That's his reasoning.
He wants the gold, and he doesn't know about it yet. But if he sees the trade, that's a very valuable target.
That's true. It would be great to see that. He doesn't see this gold, unfortunately. That'd be huge. This is probably a little too hot in the action. It doesn't know about this. It doesn't know about this situation, so this could be problematic.
You know, I do appreciate both players are very on top of their upgrades. You'll notice they've got their attack upgrades, their defense upgrades, their economy upgrades, wheelbarrow.
Oil. Looking good. Swilly even like doing a little bit more in that department.
Yep.
Here comes the horseman looping around the other side.
Targeting the Treb most likely.
There goes those. Yep. Here we go. And probably are going to clean up this whole army to split. Swilly knows he knows how to play video games, so he's going to move out on the other side at the same time. This is what we call a split push.
Yep. this is good, especially if you have the extra attention to do a double attack.
Absolutely.
But he's gonna have to defend here because I think the horseman just charged into his main base.
Oh yeah, Klop is pop cap now with 153 vills and 40 horsemen.
I think both players are attacking here at the same time, so we got kind of a double attack.
Big massive horseman here. Surprised to see no English spears. Usually a unit that the English players tend to favor. We got a castle drop as well on Swilly. And there goes the farm. What little of it there was up here. Taken out.
Yeah, this really hurts.
Game, a little bit of a learning curve for those H2 players. Swilly is never really one or the other.
Aloysian commenting on 153 villagers for Klop. That's a little excessive. I think ideally you want to be in that 100 to 130 maybe.
130, 120. Depends. And looks like Swilly's just gonna be sticking in the game with this King's Palace. As long as this is up and his morale holds, he'll be playing. Klop going with that rewall, really delaying this northern push. It's a little too easy to rewall sometimes in this game.
It really is, especially for China.
Yeah, I mean 100-100 is a pretty good split most of the time too, Aloysian. But 120 probably fairly good sweet spot there. It just depends on how much production you have. You can keep the units streaming across the map or whatever. Or keep
it also depends on if you're a civ that likes making a lot of small, cheap trash units and flood them in, or if it's a civilization that really has a significant.
If you're the French with the high value units.
Yep.
130, maybe even 140 villagers working at all times could be good. But we got that horseman raid. He's leaving the tower. He knows about the King's Palace, but okay. And there's another castle drop on the King's Palace. Oh man.
And Swilly here is housed. He can't make any more units.
Yeah, he's housed. He's pulling all bills, all units. Deny this castle. This might be the last move he gets to make in the game. As all the units up here are stuck in this big kill zone. Castle goes up, and these villagers are gonna just die. I think Swilly will win this fight, so that's good.
A few knights. Are those knights in there?
There are knights in here, yeah.
Yeah, those are gonna do a lot of work. There's no counter for the knights in this on Swilly's side.
Oh yeah, we got knights for the heal as well. And there's the game. Goes to... Okay, he did just take it out with the horseman raid as well. Goes to Klop. Game 1 of that semi-final match. GG from both players. GG for Swilly for taking it like a champ.